Hi, this is Miss Lavodi, and this video will show you how to finish your digital brush painting of your flower. In the last video, we left off completing the gray values and stems and leaves of the peony flower. Now we'll use the brush tools to create the blossom. So this is where we left off in our other video. We had black and gray leaves, and we used the watercolor brush for the leaves. We used the dry brush for the stems of the leaves, and then we used the calligraphy brush to create some details and textures in the leaves themselves. So from here, we're going to start to make a new layer, and we're going to be adding back in the pink flowers. This is what we're aiming to achieve by the end of this painting. We're going to start by making a new layer, and we can fill in some of the pink inside of the bud of the flower. We're starting with a light pink at a low opacity to keep it soft, and we're using the watercolor brush tool. Here you can switch to a darker pink to accent and make some edges darker. Keep your opacity low still so that way your colors overlay. And remember, it's totally okay to let this look watercolory. That's what we want. I'm going to pick a darker pink and add it to the inside petals. I'm trying to match the shape of the petal as best as I can. We don't want to lose the shape, and we don't want to let shapes run into each other too much. So I'm going to be separating the petals with a little bit of space and leaving room for those lighter edges to get painted in. So try to maintain your shape. Try to trace and fill inside of the shape as best as you can. Look for these individual petals. Once you have the main shapes of your petals filled in, it'll look like a little positive negative space design, and then we can start to pick a lighter pink to apply some color to the edges and the tips of the petals, and this will fade into the darker color. It'll help separate the petals and make them look more visible. Can add a little bit of yellow into the center to help create the middle point of the peony flower, and then remove your reference photo layer by hiding it so that way you can see what your work looks like, and you can fill in any gaps or white space where you need to, but having a little bit of white negative space helps us see the individual petals and allows for contrast. It also allows us to mimic the look of watercolor so that way you don't just get a blob of color running into each other. And here you should have your finished digital brush painting with some simple positive shapes and limited color.